Well, check it out. You came back. I'm so glad because we've got a few investigative things to do. So, first off, we want to increase the model's performance by adjusting the hyperparameters. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's see what ChatGPT says about this step. Well, it gives us some suggestions. Fine-tune the hyperparameters of your logistic regression model to improve its performance. This step may involve techniques like cross-validation or grid search to find the optimal combination of hyperparameters. So, yeah, I'll first move the proposal to the notebook in this context. So I'm going to take it from here, open up a cell in Markdown format on the right, and paste it in. So I want to run the code now. Good. So now we can ask the appropriate question at ChatGPT. All right, so in the message section, I'm going to write, ChatGPT, I would like to implement step 8. Tune hyperparameters among your suggestions to build a model. What step should I take? So we'll send that in, and we've got some answers starting to come back to us. We're going to wait for it, and now let's investigate. All right, so ChatGPT has written the steps we need to take as an item. And yeah, we're going to examine them individually, but check it out. There are no codes, only textual information. So I need to prepare a message and ask it to write these suggestions in code form. Okay, so then we can read all this together. So I'll go back to the message section and write something like, can you apply your previous answer's suggestions with the codes? And we'll send that in. All right, my friend. So now it starts to write the codes pretty extensively, it looks like. So again, it's writing the codes one by one according to the suggestions. So we're going to wait for it to finish. And now we can start to have a look. Now, I'm just going to proceed with the same logic, my friends. I want to read the suggestion first and then apply the codes. All right, so let's do it. So I'm going to the suggestions, and what is it saying? The first step for hyperparameter tuning. Define the hyperparameters. Identify the hyperparameters of the logistic regression model that you want to tune. Some common parameters for logistic regression include the regularization parameter, C or alpha, the penalty type, L1 or L2, and the solver algorithm. Okay, so we can transfer this suggestion into our notebook. Now I'm just going to take this part, open up a Markdown format cell on the right, and paste it all in. So I'm going to run the code. Now let's have a look at the code that it wrote. And I'm going down here and, okay, so look at this. If we examine the codes, we've done all of them up to this section. So I'm going to go up to our notebook. Yeah, see, we've implemented them all here. Hyperparameter adjustment steps start after that. So let's then look at the next step. As you can see, it's right here. So I just want to copy it and then paste it into my cell over on the right. Okay, so here it sets a variable named param_grid and wrote the parameters to be set in the dictionary structure. And we see C, penalty, and solver parameters. And again, we can see the values of these parameters in the form of a list. All right, so we're going to try out these parameters, but for now, we're going to continue. And we'll go up here and look at the suggestions. So what's the second suggestion? ChatGPT says, choose a search strategy. Determine the search strategy to explore different combinations of hyperparameters. Two common search strategies are grid search and random search. Grid search exhaustively evaluates all possible combinations of specified hyperparameter values, while random search randomly selects combinations from a defined search space. Well, that's interesting. So let's transfer this information over to our notebook and check it out. I'm taking the whole thing from here. And then I'm going to open up a cell in Markdown format on the right and paste all that in and run the code. So, my friends, I would typically choose the GridSearchCV method by looking at this information because this is the most preferred method in data science. Is that just a bad habit I've gotten into? I don't know, my friends. I want to find out what ChatGPT has to say. So let's find out. I'm going to go down here into the code, and while examining the import codes, we see that it has chosen GridSearchCV. Okay, but before we start the method, I want to take this import code into the notebook. And my friends, I'm just going to take it from here and paste it into my cell here on the right. Okay, now hang on, my friends. We've imported the train test split function above, so that's why I'm just deleting this place here in this code. All right, so now that it's ready, we can run it. And now let's continue with the suggestions right from where we left off. So I'm going up here, and what does ChatGPT say? Set the search space. Okay, define the range of hyperparameter values to search over. For each hyperparameter, specify a range or list of values to consider during the search. The choice of search space depends on the hyperparameter and your domain knowledge. For example, you might try a range of values for the regularization parameter C or a list of penalty types. Now, I wonder, did you notice something? We've actually already implemented this suggestion. We have set the parameters mentioned in the param grid dictionary. But I do want to take this suggestion to the notebook, so I'm going to copy the entire proposal from here on the left. And once I get over here to the right, I'll just paste it in. Now here, I want to do something a little different. So my friends, this suggestion is about the param grid dictionary. That's why I want to add this suggestion above. So I'm going to reopen the cell there, and I'll add this information here to the bottom. Okay, so now let's rerun the code. And we can go back to ChatGPT and pick up where we left off in the next suggestion. Select a performance metric. Choose a performance metric to evaluate and compare different combinations of hyperparameters. Common metrics include accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, or AUC/ROC. The choice of metric depends on the specific problem and requirements. Yes, indeed. You can help choose the best parameter of the GridSearchCV method by selecting the one you want from these metrics. And we'll soon see which one ChatGPT has chosen. But for now, I just want to transfer this to my notebook. And I'm going to take all the suggestions from here. And then over here on the right, I'll open up the cell in Markdown format and paste it all in. And we can run the code. All right, my friends. So now, let's say we chose the metric. Let's go back to ChatGPT and see what it says next. Implement the search. Use the chosen search strategy, grid search or random search, to explore different combinations of hyperparameters. Evaluate each combination of hyperparameters by training and cross-validating the logistic regression model using the chosen performance metric. Well, sure enough, my friends, considering this suggestion, we'll now run the GridSearchCV for the best parameter selection. So what I'll do is take this suggestion and throw it into our notebook. I'll just copy it and paste it into the cell on the right. Okay, we can run the code. Now we're getting down to the code related to this suggestion. So see, first, it created the model again. And yes, I'll take this code and paste it over here into the notebook so I can run that. All right, so now we have created a logistic regression model named model. So we can now insert the model into the GridSearchCV method. See, so for this, I'm going to take the code here and paste it into the cell on the right. So it's had a variable named grid_search here, and it called the GridSearchCV function. Now it entered the model first, and then it wrote the param grid dictionary to set parameters. It set accuracy as the evaluation metric. And I wonder if you paid attention, it set the score parameter according to this metric. So it means that ChatGPT will choose the best parameter values according to the accuracy metric, which is fine by me. Now, finally, in line with its suggestions, it cross-validated and determined the CV parameter as 5. So this way, all parameters will be tested considering 5 different training and test data. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the code. Great, so we now have the grid search method. Let's train the data according to this method. And see, I'll take the necessary code from here and then paste it into the cell on the right. I'll call it the grid search variable, and apply the fit function on it here. So it entered the training and test data respectively. Thus, we will train the data set according to the method. So yeah, let's go ahead and run the code. All right, so you see, guys, the training is complete. It did give us some warnings. Now, finally, it created the model that predicts the best parameters for us. Well, you can just go ahead and ignore these warnings. There is a library for this called warnings. You can always import it and get rid of them, but I'm not going to deal with this process now. I just want to continue on, and I'm sure that you do too. So now we can see the best parameters, which is what we wanted. But guess what? I want to cover this process next time. So let's wrap it up here, and I'll see you on the other side.